Chapter 4. The Body Remembers. Physical echoes across time. You live inside the most immediate and unbroken archive you will ever know, your body. It does not preserve its records in books, photographs, or recorded voices, but in the tilt of your shoulders, the set of your jaw, the depth of your breath, the balance between each footstep. Every day that has passed through you leaves its imprint somewhere, whether or not you have noticed it. This archive is constant. You carry it everywhere, even into sleep. When people talk about memory, they often picture the mind's work, the replay of a moment in images, the sound of a remembered voice, the telling of a story. But the body has its own form of memory, one that is often older, more enduring, and less open to revision than the mind's. A fall in childhood that twisted your ankle can still shape your walk decades later, even if you have not thought about it in years. The repetitive weight of carrying a child on one hip can shift the spine's balance long after those years have passed. Even the pause you take before answering a question can carry the residue of a time when speaking felt dangerous. This is not only about physical injury or strain. The body remembers emotion, relationship, and atmosphere. Deep loss or the weight of change can compress the ribcage and narrow the breath, as if the chest has become a container too small for its contents. Joy can roll back the shoulders and release a softness into the face. Years of constant stress can draw the head forward, as though bracing against a wind that never stops blowing. None of these are accidents. They are the body's way of storing what it has endured or celebrated, a lived record that continues to speak long after the moment has passed. Some of these physical traces are not only yours, you may inherit them. The way you plant your feet, the way your hands rest in stillness, even the angle of your gaze may echo someone from your family line, a father you barely remember, a grandmother you never met. Scientific research into epigenetics has suggested that trauma, adaptation, and resilience can be passed from one generation to another, altering not just behavior, but the body's responses. This is not folklore or superstition, but an extension of ancestral memory into the living tissue of our muscles, bones, and breath. To recognize the body as an archive is to step away from the constant urge to correct it. Our culture often treats physical irregularity as something to erase, but a scar, a tilt, or a way of breathing can be an honest record of survival. They are not flaws in the archive, they are its text. They tell of the terrain you have crossed and the weather you have endured. To erase them entirely would be to erase part of your own biography. This biography is written in many layers. Physical memory lives in the body's structure, a limp, a mark on the skin, a curve in the spine that formed after years of leaning towards a desk. Emotional memory is written in the body's signatures, a stomach that knots at raised voices, a chest that lightens at the sound of laughter. Relational memory comes from touch, how you have been held or pushed away, how safe or unsafe it felt to lean towards another person. Inherited memory is the faint but persistent echo of experiences you never lived directly, passed on through the small shaping of body and breath. Once you begin to see the body as an active archive, every habit and ache can be reread as a message from your own history. The way someone stands in a queue, the pattern of their gestures when speaking, the speed or hesitance of their walk, all of these can reveal something of their unseen chapters. An open stance might have been learned as a shield in early life, a way to appear at ease while guarding something unspoken. A bowed head might not be submission, but an old reflex from moving through a space where invisibility felt safer. Breath itself is a record keeper. It can shift in an instant to respond to the present, quickening in fear, slowing in calm, yet it also carries the imprint of the past. People who grew up in places where air was heavy with heat or smoke may unconsciously shape their breath differently from those raised in open, cool spaces. Movement is the same. It holds the marks of work done, roads walked, stairs climbed, routines repeated until they became invisible to thought. Even pain can be understood differently through this lens. It is not only a problem to be solved, but sometimes a reminder or a messenger. A dull ache in the back, may carry the memory of years spent lifting, bending, or standing in one position for too long. An ache in the hands may remember a craft once practiced, or a strain once endured. Gestures too, the way you touch your temple when thinking, clasp your hands when anxious, or tilt your head when listening, are physical echoes, often formed in early years and carried forward without conscious choice. Seeing others through this understanding changes the way you meet them. Every person you pass in the street carries an unspoken history. The body tells parts of it without words, how they hold themselves, where their eyes rest, whether their movements are guarded or expansive. This recognition can soften judgment and deepen connection. The archive of the body does not exist alone. It is always in conversation with the archive of place. The ground you walk shapes your muscles and balance. A city's pace can alter your heartbeat. Air that is thin or damp can condition your breath. In return, your body leaves its marks, the path worn into a patch of grass, the handprint on a familiar wall, the indentation in a chair. Places remember you, even in ways you will never know. To live with awareness of this exchange is to understand that you are never only a visitor in the world, nor only an observer of it. You are a participant in a constant dialogue between body and place. Each leaves its traces on the other. In the next chapter, transitions and thresholds, crossings. In life and death, we will move into the spaces where this conversation between body and place is most visible. The thresholds. These are the crossings where both archives meet, in a step across a doorway, in the shift between one chapter of life and the next, in the unseen moment between living memory and the memory that remains after death. To notice these crossings is to see how the body and place shape each other in the moments where life changes direction.